Was Rory right about Mason Mount being world class? For cheap, good quality football jerseys, go over to www.jerseyfever.com, a link will be left in the description, and use code atlantisfootball to get 5% off. Before I get into the analysis, just give me 30 seconds to tell you about the OneFootball app, as it's the app I use to keep up to date with the latest circulating transfer rumours, and I love the match section on their app as it has stats from pretty much every match from every league in the world, so it's useful for matches that you aren't able to watch in full but still want a detailed view of how the game went. If you like this channel, you'll definitely love this app and you'll be helping to support the channel directly, so click the link in the description to get the OneFootball app. So a couple of months back I was watching the kickoff live stream for a Premier League match which I cannot remember specifically, and Rory Jennings, who you'll know from Chelsea Fan TV and his own YouTube channel, which I'll leave linked in the description, said as a passing comment that Mason Mount in his opinion was world class. Now at the time Lampard was still in charge, and the context of the statement was why Kai Havertz wasn't fitting into Chelsea's side so well, and Rory was basically saying that in terms of Chelsea's best central midfield three in Lampard's 4-3-3 system at the time, Havertz would not get into it, and went on to talk about how good Mason Mount was, calling him world class. Now the term world class was probably a hyperbole, but I think the general point was that Mount is a top level player, on the same sort of level that Foden, Maddison, Rice and some of the other young English talents are on. So I thought I'd break down and give my opinion on whether Mount is maybe not world class because it's only a short period of time to really judge him on his newfound form, but whether he is a top level midfielder as Rory alluded to. So I'm going to look at the statistical metrics behind Mount's form, compare him to Havertz, and at the end I'll give my overall view on how good Mason Mount is as a player. So what type of player is Mason Mount? Well, I think Mount is a versatile player. He can play as a central attacking midfielder ahead of a midfield double pivot. He can play in a midfield three as the most advanced one in the three, or as he does in Tuchel's system, he can play from the left side, moving infield into the half space. His role in the side is as an advanced playmaker, though he does have the necessary defensive attributes in terms of his pressing, positioning and tackling ability to be able to play more as a central midfielder with more defensive responsibilities if needed. In terms of his attributes, Mount is a very good carrier of the ball. He sits ahead of Chelsea's deeper midfield players, usually Kovacic and Jorginho, and so drops into the space between the lines of the opposition's midfield and defence. When he receives a pass, he has the awareness and body positioning to receive the ball in a half turn and use his body to wriggle away from opposition midfielders. When he receives the ball in deeper positions, he also has the ability to dribble through the centre of the pitch, with his low centre of gravity and close ball control allowing him to wriggle around players. This dribbling ability can be seen as this season Mount has completed 1.5 dribbles per 90, the 9th most of any central midfielder or central attacking midfielder in the league. This is a valuable asset to have in an advanced central midfielder, as it allows a side to progress the ball forward into the final third without having to make a series of passes between players. This was something that Andres Iniesta was so good at, having the ability to pick up the ball in deep central positions and drift past opposition players, breaking the opposition's midfield line and allowing Barcelona to move the attack forward at pace. This is definitely an area of Mount's game that has improved, but it's his chance creating ability which has been the biggest improvement in my opinion. Last season he recorded an expected assist rate of 0.16 per 90, whilst also completing 1.6 key passes per 90. This season that has improved drastically to an expected assist rate of 0.27 per 90, the 10th most of any player in the league, more than the likes of James Maddison and Raheem Sterling, whilst also recording 2.8 key passes per 90, the 5th most of any player in the league, with only Bruno Fernandes, Kevin De Bruyne, Pascal Gross and Jack Grealish recording higher rates. I think this improvement has happened because Mount has become more decisive with his decision making, now taking a risk and attempting a through ball or a creative pass to create a chance, which obviously comes from his increased experience and confidence. A good example of this was against Lille. He firstly shows his industrious side to win the ball back in his own defensive third. When he has a ball at his feet, last season he may have opted for a shorter, simpler pass to move the ball on and retain possession. However, now he has a vision and decisiveness to see Hudson-Odoi's run on the far side, combined with the ability to play a superb curling pass into his path, giving Hudson-Odoi a one-on-one chance from where he scores, which all stems from Mount's decision to play an earlier, riskier pass over the safer, shorter pass to retain possession. Around the box, his interplay has improved a lot, with him being able to play quick 1-2s and make runs ahead of the forward line into goal-scoring positions. This is a part of his game that, when he improves it, will be the catalyst that makes him a top-level attacking midfielder, as right now he's scored 4 non-penalty goals this season from a non-penalty XG of 3.58, showing that he is a good finisher when he's able to get these opportunities around the box. He is recording a non-penalty XG per 90 rate of 0.15, which I do think can be improved, which will come with more experience as Mount's off the ball movement around the box and decisiveness when getting shots away improves. Players like Bruno Fernandes and Jack Grealish are recording rates of around 0.23 per 90, meaning that they are getting into better quality shooting positions, which is why they've both scored more non-penalty goals than Mount this season, Grealish with 6 and Fernandes with 8. We saw Aaron Ramsey begin to look like a top level player around 2013 when his movement in the box and ahead of the forward line and his finishing when in those positions improved, and the same thing could happen with Mason Mount. In Tuchel's Chelsea system, it seems like it will be either Havertz or Mount in the most advanced midfield row ahead of the double pivot of Jorginho and Kovacic, playing between the lines in behind Werner. Havertz and Mount are similar type of players, but Mount seems to be the starter in that position ahead of Havertz at the moment. I think this largely comes from Mount's contribution off the ball, with his pressing and ability to put in a tackle to win the ball back being vital in Tuchel's high pressing system. He's also better at carrying the ball in central zones than Havertz in my opinion, which allows Chelsea to progress the ball into the final third. Havertz does seem to have the edge in terms of goal scoring, having better movement around the box and being a better finisher. They are both of a similar chance creating standard, even though Mount does slightly edge Havertz statistically in this area, but there isn't much in terms of ability that separates the two players, so Mount will have to sustain this level of form as his place in the starting 11 in Tuchel's side is not guaranteed. Rory's initial statement that Mason Mount is world class is an over exaggeration at this moment. As well as Mount has improved significantly from last season, I still don't think his output this season is on the same level as the likes of Grealish, Fernandes and De Bruyne, who are three of the best central creative players in the league at the moment and could all be considered world class or at least top level players depending on your definition of world class. Just by looking at the difference in creative output, we can see that Mount is not on the same level as those three. As I've said before, Mount has recorded an expected assist rate of 0.27 per 90 and has completed 2.8 key passes per 90, whereas Bruno Fernandes has recorded 0.35 expected assists per 90 and 2.9 key passes per 90. Grealish has an XA of 0.41 per 90 and 3.4 key passes per 90, and De Bruyne has an XA of 0.48 per 90 and 3.5 key passes per 90. So we can see the difference in creative output that Mount needs to bridge in order to be considered a world class or a top level player. However, I would agree with Rory's opinion on Mount if he didn't use the word world class. At the start of the season it seemed like Mount would be a backup to Havertz in Chelsea's midfield, and he wasn't really seen as one of England's standout young players. However, at this point in the season you could make a good claim for Mount being a starter in Southgate's side. If Southgate does go with a 4-3-3, then Mount could be used as the most advanced central midfielder if Grealish were playing from the left of the front three, as Mount certainly has the off the ball ability to play this role in games against bigger sides. In my analysis of Chelsea's win against Tottenham a few weeks back, I talked about Mount's positioning, playing as the most advanced midfielder in the midfield three, with Kovacic and Jorginho sitting deeper, and this is what we could see from Mount in Southgate's 4-3-3, with maybe Rice and Henderson playing these deeper midfield roles. So overall, whilst I do disagree with Rory's initial point that Mount is world class at this point, I do think Mount is a player who is widely underrated, and in my opinion is on the same level as other young English talents like Foden, Saka and Declan Rice, who could all play crucial roles for England at the Euros in the summer. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed that video, remember to subscribe to the channel, give the video a like if you enjoyed it, click the bell so you get notified when my videos come out, and check out some of my other videos linked in the description below, and follow me on my other social media accounts for more content as well.